Hello everyone, welcome to Jolly Molly TV. Today we're going to stitch out the last block here in this adorable project called Christmas Express by Embroidery Library. And this block we're going to do today is this snowman with the candy canes and the railroad tracks. Oh, we've got little bunnies here too, how cute. So let's go ahead and gather all our supplies, our fabric and our batting, and let's head over to the machine and let's get started stitching. Okay, we're at the machine. I put a bobbin with black bobbin thread down below because we're using black fabric. And that way if there's any tension issues, it won't show on the top. And I've got black thread in the top of my machine. So now let's go to the screen and let's load the design that we're going to stitch today. Okay, so I'm going to wake the machine up. Let's go to the embroidery module. Go to my flash drive where I keep all my files, and I'm going to look for Christmas Express scene. We're going to work on this one right here, which is the very last block in this series, which has the snowman and the 2 candy canes. Oh, and 2 bunny rabbits. That's cute. So click Set. Everything looks good. I'm going to click Embroidery. Just like we did in the previous blocks in this series, I have to click Edit, and I'm going to add a basting stitch. That's going to put one around the outside edge, and we're good. Okay, now I'm going to click Return. I'm going to click Edit, Size, and I need to shrink this all the way around all 4 sides. 1 click. That's it. Click Edit, click Embroidery. That'll make sure that everything fits on my hoop. So let's go back to the hoop cam. Okay, so now we're ready to go again. Black bobbin thread and black thread up on top. Let's stitch out that first stitch, which is going to be the basting stitch around the outside edge. And that'll be a placement line. All right, here we go. All right, so we got the basting stitch down. Now I want to lay the batting down. And we're going to cover all of that line, making sure we kind of center everything. And of course, everything's covered, but double check it. So that'll be good. And now let's go to the screen because we need to stitch that basting stitch again. Okay, so all we need to do is do the plus and minus key. And then I'm going to go back 1 stitch. So it shows that basting stitch again. And I'm going to click OK. And now we're going to stitch that out again. Okay, so I'm just going to hold this down gently and stitch that basting stitch again. And in doing so, we're going to tack down this batting. Okay, now I want you to take the hoop gently off the machine. And then I want you to take this over to a table and I want you to trim away all of this excess batting from around the outside of that stitch line. Use a pair of curved scissors if you have it, because this way that upwards curve will help you not puncture the stabilizer down below as you make those trim cuts. All right, so let's go ahead and trim those outside edges and I'll meet you right back here. Okay, it doesn't have to be pretty, just as long as it's trimmed up, okay? So now we're going to put the black fabric down. Make sure that you fuse the back side of this. And we're going to do the same thing like we did for the batting. We're going to lay it down and we're going to kind of feel for the edges and kind of get it centered. That looks good. All right, so now let's go back to the screen because we got to go back 1 more step. We're going to stitch that basting stitch out again. Okay, you're familiar with this. Ready? We're going to do plus and minus, and I'm going to go back 1 stitch. There's that basting stitch. That's exactly what we want. And click OK. Okay, I've still got my black thread up on top. I'm going to put the foot down. And now we're going to use that basting stitch 1 last time to tack down this fabric. Here we go. Okay, so now I'm just going to use some Scotch tape and I'm going to clean this fabric up a little bit. I had a piece of batting on top of this, so I have batting fuzz all over this. But it's easy enough. Take a piece of Scotch tape, take the hoop off the machine if you have to, and just snatch all that fuzz right up onto the tape. There we go. Much better. Okay. We don't want all that fuzz going literally into our stitched blocks. No, we don't. Okay, so now we're ready to start stitching. So what I want to do is I want to show you, this is the last block of this series. We're looking at the thread change sheet and we're actually starting on step 57 on this chart with the blue ink. And remember, it goes left to right. So 57 is blue ink, 58 is blue J, 59 is chrome, etc. And then we're going to get to white, and that's going to be it. So we only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 color changes on this block. And then we're done stitching the blocks out. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and put my blue ink thread, step number 57, in the top of my machine. There's blue ink. You do the same on your machine. Take that black thread out and put the blue ink up on top. And then we're going to stitch out the first stitch. It's going to be background and snowman shading. Okay, it's a 9-minute in real-time stitch out on my machine. And just remember, I stitch at half speed. I don't go to maximum. I don't want to wear my machine out prematurely. So I always stitch at half speed. Okay, which is between 500 and 600 stitches per minute. I think this machine is capable of doing 11 or 1200. So you got a loop, get that loop out. If you don't, that loop is going to wrap around your foot. It's going to break a needle at least and could damage your foot, which could damage your machine. And that would be a very costly repair, and we don't want that. Okay, I also have a sticker on the top of my thread spool that was coming off that might catch on the thread and cause a breakage. So I get that off as well. What that is that's just a sticker around here that tells the thread number for that company. And once in a while it'll peel off, and you got to take it off or it will stop the thread from coming through. And again, break a needle or worse. Okay. So we try to minimize any disasters with our machine. All right, let's go ahead and put the foot down and enjoy the stitch out. This is blue ink, and we're going to do some ground shading and snowman shading. Here we go. All right, that is a great start. I'm going to clean that up a little bit more. Saw a little bit of fuzz there. And now we're ready for the next color thread. So we're on step 58 and it's going to be Blue Jay. Very pretty blue. Okay, let's go ahead and put that thread in the top of our machine. And this is going to do some accents on the areas that we just stitched out. And so we're looking at, on my machine, about a 6-minute in real-time stitch out. All right, this is fun. You ready? Make sure you don't have any loops. All right, we're ready to go. Let's stitch it out. Okay, I can see that it stopped stitching, and I believe that's because my bobbin has run out of thread. My sensor once in a while on my machine doesn't work, so I'm betting that's what it was. I did not have a full bobbin down below when I started. So am I right? Yep, that's what it was. All right, so now I'm going to put a bobbin full of black thread in the bottom of my machine. Full bobbin this time. That should get me the rest of the way through the block. And I'm going to gently put the hoop back on. Okay, and now I'm going to move the machine back after I get these little threads off here. There we go. I'm going to move the machine back to where it will pick up and start stitching the shading again. Okay, so let's do the plus and minus key. And now I'm going to go back, and I'm going to go back in tens until I see where I think it needs to start stitching. I think I got it. I'm going to go back 5 more. Actually, yeah, right there. Okay, that looks good. Okay, so now I'm going to start stitching again, and we're back in business. Here we go. Okay, that's looking good. So now we are on step 59, which is chrome. All right, so get your chrome or bright silver thread, and we're going to put that in our machine, and we're going to do some more accents on the same areas that we've been stitching out. All right, so this is going to be a 4-minute stitch out. Make sure we don't have a loop, and we have a loop. Get that out. Okay, you ready? Let's do this. All right, isn't that looking great? Okay, now we're on step number 60, which calls for root beer thread, which is going to be train tracks and bunny shading. All right, so this is going to do a whole bunch of train tracks down here at the bottom. So go ahead and put your root beer thread in the top of your machine. We got this. This is going to be a 5-minute stitch out. And here we go. You ready? Oop, nope. Did not want to thread. So let's try that again. Nope. All right, and you know why? I can tell my needle's bent. My needle is bent. Look at that. Okay, so I'm going to replace my needle. It is just slightly bent on the end. It was enough that it was still doing stitches, but it's bent, so I need a new needle. So I use Oregon needles. I find that they're really good quality, and I usually don't have too many issues with them. So I get my new needle out. It's funny because it's enough that it was still able to make stitches, but not to thread, which means it was definitely bent, and I can see just at the end point it's bent. All right, I leave my hoop on the bottom when I do this because I want something to catch this needle when I do get it out, just in case I don't get a good hold on it. There. So this way it catches it. And I don't know, see if you can see it. It's bent. Can you see that right there? It's bent just to the left at the bottom. Thank you for your service. All right, let's put a new one in. Put it in the foot first, and then put it all the way up. Hold it, tighten with your finger, and then go in and tighten with your screwdriver. All right, we're set. Yep, that looks much straighter. Okay, so now let's try to thread that needle with the root beer thread in it. And I bet you it's going to go in. Look at that. Okay, and we don't have a loop. Can't see. We're good. All right, let's go ahead and stitch out the train tracks. All right, it's coming together. Okay, so now we're going to take the root beer thread off. And now we're on step 61, which is going to be Christmas green, which is just a little bit here on the snowman. Looks like it's going to give him a scarf. So this is a 1 minute stitch out. All right, so put your Christmas green thread up on top. You got this. And let's give the snowman a scarf. All right, here we go. Oop, got a loop. Let's get that out. Okay, here we go. Okay, now we're going to put in a light emerald green, step number 62, which is going to do some accents on that same scarf. All right, give it a little bit of shading. So light emerald green thread up on top. You got this. Ready? Oh, we got a loop. There we go. Let's stitch it out. Okay, we've only got 3 color changes left. So the first one is step 63, which is a barn red, which in my case is Christmas red. So let's put the Christmas red thread up on top, or in your case, it could be barn red. Whichever red thread you've chosen, put that up on top, and we're going to do, looks like we're going to do mitten and hat band shading. Oh, we got a loop. Are you ready? And actually I got worse. I have green thread and red thread because I forgot to pull the old thread out. I do that every once in a while. And then I get this interesting shading when it does the stitch in 2 different colors of thread. Ha! Now we just have red. Let's stitch it out. Okay, so now we are going to do step 64, which is the cinnamon candy red, which is going to do some accents on those mittens and do the red on the candy canes. All right, so let's go ahead and put your cinnamon candy red thread up on top. And we've got this. This is going to be a 2-minute stitch out. Once I get all this excess thread out of here. Here we go. Yeah, this is got stuck. Pardon my hands here. There we go. Okay. Let's get rid of that excess thread. Let's try this again. Okay, down, around, and through the loop on the back. And we got a loop that's too tight for me to get my finger in, so I use my stylus. There we go. You ready? Let's stitch this out. You can do this. 2 minutes. Here we go. Beautiful. Okay, now for my favorite part of each block is putting the super white thread up on top, which in this case is step number 65, and it's going to do it some magic, and this block is literally going to come to life. Love watching this part happen. So put your super white thread up on top. We are going to stitch this out. It's going to be a 19-minute in real-time stitch out. So sit back, relax, and enjoy watching this block come to life. Isn't this cute? Again, that white thread, it just makes everything come to life. I absolutely love this project. Isn't that cool? All right, so you did it. Congratulations. This is the last block in this series. So what I want you to do now is just take the hoop off the machine. You can go ahead and take the block out of the hoop and set it aside with your other blocks. In the next video, I will show you how to finish these all up and how to add the sashings and to sew the quilt/wall hanging together. This has been so much fun. I am really, really loving this, and I will definitely be doing more of the Embroidery Library and Urban Thread scenes in the future. So you can look forward to that. So I hope you had a lot of fun making this block, and stay tuned here on Jolly Molly TV for the next video in this series where we will finish this up. And I hope you enjoyed today's video. And until I see you next time, take care and happy stitching. Bye-bye.